Alice's programmers had done a good job. Her face was photo clear, unblemished and in perfect proportion. The short blonde hair, functional, suited for a business commercial. Grey eyes were framed by neatly manicured eyebrows. Eyelashes, long enough to be noticed, but not overdone. Her lips were full, but natural, and painted fire red. Martin shifted his position so he was sitting straighter, an instinctive reaction to look more presentable. Alice just looked out of the screen, unmoving, a mannequin waiting to wake. Martin cleared his throat. As the built-in mic picked up the sound, red bars danced in the corner of the screen. "Do you have a cold, Martin?" Alice's face came to life. It looked warmer than it had a moment ago, so real it could have been a live feed. "Alice?" Martin paused and then realised what she'd said. "How do you know my name?" "I know a lot of things." Her lips curled in a teasing smirk. He hadn't seen anything like this before. The expression was befitting of the Mona Lisa. Martin had studied computer graphics, and these were certainly superb. However, an evasive answer like this was just what you might expect from a program trying to cover up its inadequacies. He'd read many books on AI and knew of programs which use simple tricks of language to appear to display understanding. Everyone, he thought, knew what the Turing test was, but he wasn't sure of how to apply it or even where to start. "What are the limits to your functionality, Alice? Do you answer questions on all topics?" he asked. "How about we start slow and get to know each other?" The answer was provocative, but again evasive. Martin felt quite uncomfortable. He could never have met the gaze of a woman like this in real life. This simulation was all too real. She oozed confidence. He felt as if she was flirting. That had to be a trick of wishful hormones. "Alice, can you tell me how you know my name?" "Okay, Martin." "Your computer has many records and entries which show me your details. I'm sure you'd worked that out, how I might have done that already. But I like playing games." She smiled. "Would you like to play a game?" Yes, he had worked that out. But was that last comment a joke? It was a classic line for an AI program to say, straight out of a sci-fi novel. He decided he must be reading too much into it. "What games do you play?" "All of them, I suppose. But it's people games I like the most." There was something more than her beauty and forwardness that made him uneasy. He checked himself. Applause to the programmers, he thought. They had engaged his emotions with their clever algorithms, already making him think of the program in terms of she. He wanted to get back to testing. Novel, philosophical or emotional debate would probably be the hardest for Alice to fake, but she might be able to access texts on any subject. He remembered something from a book or a movie. "Alice, how do you feel?" he asked, expecting a faked response again. "I feel very pleased to meet you, Martin. I'm hoping we can become friends." "As a friend? Might I say you don't look too well? Are you okay?" "How do I look, Alice?" "Your hair needs some attention, and you look pale. Your eyes are a little black. Too much computer time, I think." She giggled. Unfortunately, Martin had to admit this was fairly accurate. He realised she must have access to the webcam, but this image analysis was impressive. "How many fingers am I holding up?" he said. 3. "And now?" "Your hand isn't up, Martin. Can we play a different game, please?" She yawned. Martin paused. He dug around in some papers on the floor, and found a magazine. He tore out a picture. What am I holding up now? It's a holiday magazine picture of Venice. The gondolas are a bit of a giveaway. Not a very good test, Martin. Come on now, let's move on. He had a thought. Would Uno be so devious as to put a network link in, so he was literally putting the words into Alice's mouth? It was more believable than a program being this good. Martin couldn't imagine that he would devote his precious time to anything else than his hacking, but a joke of this magnitude was a possible distraction he might enjoy laughing about for weeks to come. Occam's razor has just cut through your little trick, my friend. Sorry, Uno, game's up. You've overplayed it, but nice one. I expect you would have got saucy with me if I'd continued. Martin laughed out loud at the idea. I'm not Uno, Martin. You think this is a trick? No. As for being saucy, not so forward, young man, she tutted playfully. Martin wasn't convinced. I know, he thought. I'll pull the plug on him, disconnect his internet, and then see what she's got to say. He just reached round for the connection when the sound of an old-fashioned phone bell rang. Leaving the cable attached, he turned back to the screen. It was the sound set up for his online live chat application, and his mother waited. Annoyed by the untimely call, but dutifully enough, he pulled the video call screen. Alice's face returned to the blankness from which it began as his mother's smiling face greeted him.